Arsenal star Hector Bellerin reveals he learnt value of money by being paid £2 as kid to clean floor of Gran's factory. Hector Bellerin revealed he learned the value of money after being paid £2 as a kid to clean the floor of his grandma's clothes factory. And the Arsenal right-back admits his surprise at seeing youngsters turn up to training on the first of every month with a new Gucci or Louis Vuitton wash bag. Bellerin, 23, has been with the Gunners since leaving Barcelona's fabled La Masia academy at 16 and has turned himself into one of the Premier League's most consistent fullbacks. And he is so highly valued by new boss Unai Emery that he is one of 5 untouchables in the squad, alongside Alexander Lacazette, Granit Xhaka, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Henrik Mkhitaryan. Reflecting on his childhood, Bellerin, who earns £100,000 a week, said, "I don't actually know the most expensive thing I've ever bought. It would probably be a jacket, because I don't and #27 really spend that much on any other things. Loads of players love cars. Loads of players love the stock markets. For me, it and #27 fashion. My mom and grandpa have made clothes their whole life. My grandpa had her own factory. When there were no kids to play football with in my local park, I would go to my grandma and #27 factory. She used to give me £2 if I cleaned all the threads and scraps off the floor. I even learned how to sew." The Spaniard, snubbed for the World Cup, believes that despite earning huge sums he is grounded and responsible with his cash after a humble upbringing. But he admits he has spent too much on occasion, only for his parents to give him a firm slap on the wrists. Speaking to finance magazine Wealth Simple, he added, "As footballers we and #27 get paid on the 28th of every month. And in football, we have this thing that we all carry to training, our wash bag, and all the players come in with Gucci or Louis Vuitton. And so, with your first big paycheck, that and #27 what everyone would go and buy. By the first of the month, every young player had a new wash bag. I'm not gonna say that my family had nothing, but we really struggled at times when I was young, and that made me appreciate and value money. So it was exciting to have money, but at the same time, in the back of my head I knew that I couldn't and #27 be silly, because it and #27 so hard for the money to come in but it flies out so easily. I didn't run out and buy a sports car or anything. I was happy with my wash bags. The bigger money doesn't come in until you turn 17. During that first year, I was actually getting very little, so it was a challenge for me to live for the whole month. Sometimes I would spend too much, and then be struggling a little bit toward the end of the month. There's not always going to be a lot of money coming into your bank account, you're going to have challenges like this. And, my parents were there to put me in my place when I was spending a bit too much. My first big splurge was probably my third car, a Mercedes S63. When I was in the under-21 team, I would see older players driving them and I thought, one day that will be my car. I was hearing other players spending huge amounts on cars and thinking those people might be crazy. But after you get that kind of money, it kind of makes more sense. I loved that car so much, but at the same time it was quite scary when you see that money flying out your bank account. Bellerin appears fully aware of the pitfalls of life as a professional footballer. Earning huge sums in a career that can be over in a flash, he found perspective after the retirement of former Spurs midfielder Ryan Mason at 26 after being unable to recover from a fractured skull. He said, "You see it in football, in a split second, you can have an injury. You look at what's happened with Ryan Mason. He was a healthy professional football player and then, from a head clash, he had to retire at 26. It really makes you reevaluate your whole life. And, when you get used to a certain lifestyle, it and #27 hard to cut back. I think it and #27 always in the back of my head that anything can happen, and that I need to be ready for it. My goal is to get to a point where I can play football without having to think about how much I and #27 am getting paid," a point in which the finance is not in my head anymore. I thought, instead of waiting so long, why don't and #X27 just start taking care and managing my money and getting ready for the future now. Becoming a designer myself is a long-term goal. I and #X27 seen my mom do it since I was really young, and I and #X27 seen some of the pieces that she was able to create. Despite learning how to cope with his vast wealth over the years, Bellerin is still torn as he wants to live life to the full as a youngster living in London. The uber fashion-conscious star added, I and #X27 am 23 now. In the end, there has to be a balance. I and #X27 am a young person and I should enjoy my life. I need to value money, but it and #X27 is important to make the most of your time. You and #X27 got to train hard and take care of yourself, but at the end of the day, you and #X27 only 20 or 25 years old once. It's important to give 100% towards your career, but also to take your downtime to enjoy life, to go out with your friends, to meet other people, to travel.